Imagine waking up to find your money worth half as much overnight. Could it happen again? Discover how the Greenback Era's bold financial moves reshaped America. The Greenback Era, 1861 to 1879, stands as one of the most fascinating and tumultuous periods in American financial history. This era was marked by the issuance of paper currency, known as greenbacks, which were not backed by precious metals. This bold move was primarily aimed at financing the Civil War, but it also sparked significant economic changes and debates that resonate to this day. What exactly were greenbacks, and how did they impact the American economy and society? Let's explore the multifaceted story of the Greenback Era. Before the Civil War, the United States relied heavily on a bimetallic standard, using both gold and silver to back its currency. The outbreak of the war in 1861 quickly depleted the Union's gold reserves, making it difficult to sustain the war effort through traditional means. In February 1862, the U.S. Congress passed the Legal Tender Act, which authorized the issuance of $150 million in paper currency. This was a groundbreaking move, marking the first time that the federal government issued a currency that was not backed by gold or silver. These notes were called greenbacks due to their distinctive green ink. Greenbacks quickly became essential in funding the Union's war efforts. By 1865, the amount of greenbacks in circulation had reached over $450 million. This large issuance was necessary to cover the Union's skyrocketing expenses, which included paying soldiers, purchasing supplies, and maintaining logistical support. The Union's war expenses soared to approximately $3 billion, an unprecedented sum at the time. Salmon P. Chase, the Secretary of the Treasury, was a pivotal figure during the Greenback Era. He championed the issuance of greenbacks and played a crucial role in managing the nation's finances. His efforts were instrumental in maintaining the Union's financial stability during the war. President Abraham Lincoln recognized the necessity of greenbacks for the war effort. He supported the Legal Tender Act and the subsequent issuance of greenbacks, understanding that they were essential for the Union's survival. The establishment of national banks under the National Banking Acts of 1863 and 1864 helped to regulate the issuance and distribution of greenbacks. These banks were authorized to issue national banknotes backed by government bonds, further integrating greenbacks into the financial system. Greenbacks were a form of fiat money, meaning their value depended on public confidence rather than backing by precious metals. This reliance on trust led to various economic challenges, including significant inflation. During the war, the value of greenbacks fluctuated dramatically. At one point, they traded at a discount of nearly 40% against gold. The inflation rate soared to over 80%, causing widespread economic disruption. Prices of goods and services increased rapidly, eroding the purchasing power of greenbacks. To illustrate the impact of greenbacks, consider these figures. In 1861, the price of a barrel of flour was approximately $5. By 1865, it had risen to over $10. Similarly, a bushel of wheat that cost around $1.50 in 1861 had doubled to $3 by 1865. These price increases reflect the inflationary pressures faced by Americans during the Greenback Era. Many Americans were initially skeptical of paper money. Farmers and laborers, in particular, were concerned about inflation eroding their purchasing power. Despite these concerns, greenbacks provided an opportunity for financial inclusion, allowing more people to engage in commerce. Personal stories from this era reflect a mix of anxiety and adaptation. One farmer recalled, "It was strange, holding a piece of paper and knowing it could buy you a plow or a cow. We had to trust it, even if it felt like betting on the wind." Another anecdote from a factory worker highlights the impact on wages. "We saw our wages go up in greenbacks, but they bought less each month." It was a race against the rising prices. The Greenback Era was not just an economic phenomenon, it was a period of profound social impact. Many Americans experienced economic hardship due to inflation. The purchasing power of their earnings diminished, leading to widespread discontent. Despite these challenges, greenbacks also facilitated economic activity and helped sustain the Union during the war. In the industrial North, greenbacks facilitated booming wartime production. Manufacturing output increased by over 50% during the war, driven by demand for military supplies. This economic boom was accompanied by challenges, including inflation and labor unrest. In contrast, the agrarian South faced severe economic disruption. The Confederate currency experienced hyperinflation, exacerbating the economic difficulties faced by the South. Prices of essential goods skyrocketed, and the Southern economy struggled to cope with the wartime demands. In the West, the mining industry thrived as gold and silver became critical to economic stability. The discovery of new gold and silver deposits provided a valuable source of wealth, helping to mitigate some of the inflationary pressures experienced elsewhere. The end of the Civil War did not signal the end of greenbacks. Instead, the country faced the challenge of transitioning back to a stable monetary system. The Resumption Act of 1875 aimed to redeem greenbacks for gold, beginning in 1879. This move was intended to stabilize the currency and restore public confidence. The path to resumption was fraught with political and economic debates. Many feared that redeeming greenbacks would lead to deflation and economic hardship. Despite these challenges, the successful resumption of gold payments in 1879 marked a significant achievement, restoring stability and marking the end of the Greenback Era. During this transition, the value of greenbacks gradually improved, eventually reaching parity with gold. This stabilization was crucial for restoring economic confidence and ensuring a smooth transition to a gold-backed currency system. The Greenback Era spurred significant debates among economists and policymakers. Proponents of hard money argued that currency should be backed by gold to ensure stability and prevent inflation. Conversely, supporters of greenbacks, including many agrarians and laborers, believed that a flexible money supply could support economic growth and alleviate debt burdens. These debates laid the groundwork for future monetary policies and the establishment of the Federal Reserve System. The era also saw the emergence of the Greenback Party, which advocated for the continued use of fiat money and played a crucial role in the political landscape of the late 19th century. The legacy of the Greenback Era is evident in the evolution of American banking and financial regulation. The experience highlighted the need for a central authority to manage the money supply and address economic crises. This period also underscored the importance of public confidence in the financial system, a lesson that remains relevant today. The shift from gold-backed to fiat currency during the 20th century can trace some of its roots back to the innovations and experiments of the Greenback Era. The era also influenced the development of modern financial instruments and the regulatory framework that governs today's banking system. As we reflect on the Greenback Era, it is clear that this period offers valuable lessons for modern financial management. Understanding the complexities and outcomes of this historical experiment can help us navigate current and future economic challenges. If you enjoyed this exploration of the Greenback Era, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more economic history insights. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and stay curious with Archivist Animates.